And so let me welcome you. I'm Greg from the EYL family. My sister Val is here, but she's in the midst of travel, so she probably won't be connecting with us much. But we run a book club, and I'd like to invite anyone and everyone to turn your camera on, turn your audio on for this insightful conversation, which we will kind of center some of this around Ray Dalio's book, The Principles of Dealing with the Changing World Order. But I also want to get into an important topic that is prevalent to our times. Many, if not all of us, were witness to the president and his administration putting forth a student loan forgiveness policy or legislation to come. And I know there's been a lot of reactions. I mean, I've been in a lot of settings and I've had people who've, grappled with it, had their own opinion and insight on it. And so I wanted to be able to kind of have a conversation about loan forgiveness and debt as we prepare ourselves to kind of look at some of what Ray Dalio is talking about, but also to get into our movie that we're going to be watching next week. This is a movie and book club. And so as a movie and book club, we will read books, but we also will talk. We also do, short film, also movies to kind of just, add to our depth of knowledge of finance, but also the economy. But let me welcome anyone who's here for the first time. If you are here for the first time, please put a 1 in the chat so that we can properly acknowledge you and give you some love. Thank you for being here and rocking with us this Sunday. If you have not purchased a book, that's okay too. We have put together a website where you can follow along. That website link is in the chat. So the discussion will be based partially on the principles of dealing with the changing world order. And I say partially because this book is so deep and it's not, I wouldn't say it's dense, but I would say it's built in a lot of economic language and where everyone can, what we try to do is make it invitational so that anyone from any part of your investment journey can be a part and then be engaged on this conversation. This is a community feel. And so there's some community norms that I want to make sure that we understand before we get into conversation. One, that this is an open forum for people to express thoughts and opinions. And so if you have a thought and an opinion about something related to a topic we're discussing, you're welcome to share that. We don't respect or we don't encourage anyone to really kind of to get into this condemnation or putting people down based on their opinions. We invite thoughts because thoughts lead to engagement, and so engagement is important for us. And so we center ourselves in the belief that like each one teach one, and so we're a community that's very nurturing. Many times the book club changes into a support group or a place where people who have never shared their opinion openly or publicly can do so. And so I want to make sure that we set the norm so that anyone who is new, that they can feel like they could be a part of a greater conversation and can take away something from here. So with that said, I definitely wanted to make sure that we understood that your opinions, your insight, your expertise, if you have an expertise, is welcomed. We value you and we value the experience of you being here. With that said, again, welcome to anyone who is here for the first time. I greet you with love and respect. My name is Greg. I'm part of the EYL family, and we're here. We're here to kind of get into a conversation centered in understanding a little bit more about the economy, but also understanding about the kind of macro economics and to some degree. Now, I'm not a professor. I'm someone who's just read like you have read, and I'm interested into engaging. So with that said, I want to open up the floor to anyone who has read, knows a little bit about Ray Dalio's work, or has an opinion that they like to share about this reading, first and foremost, before I kind of get into some of the things I want to talk about. So the floor is open. How this works is that if you have something you'd like to share or something you'd like to say, please raise your hand, and I'll call on you, and then you have the floor. and then we respect your time to share your opinions and your insight. Also, there are people who put stuff in the chat, so I'm trying to be really, really good about putting stuff in the chat, so or responding to things in the chat. So if you do have something you want to share, please make sure that you do so. But welcome to you. I will also say this too. There is because we don't know, I don't know where people are coming from and what your understanding of the economy is. We're going to go through a video that Ray Diallo put out so that you have a baseline understanding of when we talk about the economy, what we're talking about. The assumption is never that some person is superior because they know something more than the other person. No, that's not how we roll. What we try to do is really kind of build a baseline of appreciation of information so that we all can grow together. With that said, insights, questions. How many of you have purchased a book? If you purchased a book, can you please put a 2 in the chat so I can kind of get a sense as to where you're at and what how I could kind of support you with information. Okay, I see some people purchased a book. This one is one of these books you're going to hold on to. And I'm going to refer to it probably a couple of times as we build out throughout the year, because there are some things that are happening, especially if you got into chapter 3. Chapter 3 in this book really lays out, kind of what inflation is about, kind of where we're at right now. Specifically on page kind of 112 through 114, you'll notice that there's he's kind of scripting as to how the Fed is reacting and to the the inflation that we face, and how that also impacts our investment decisions, and why, especially if you're in the market and investing, why you saw kind of a red day on Friday. But I want to be able to open up this to you. Anyone who has an insight or something they'd like to share, please do so now. You have the floor. Still finishing Nipsey Hussle. Okay, that's cool. But it is a slow read. And so so the goal of this, let me preface this. The goal of this book is not to rush through it and finish it to the end. Some of you also like listening to books on audio. This one is one of those books that if you're going to listen to it on audio, you might want to have the hard copy or the Kindle version so that you can read along. My technique is I listen and I kind of follow and read at the same time. So depending on where I'm at, if I'm in the car, I'm listening. If I'm at home, I'm looking at the book as I listen. So there's some key techniques that you could use to improve your reading skills and building a knowledge base of what you're reading. If you need some help with doing that, please let me know. I can help you and give you some resources. Okay, Mark, is that Marquise? I see that you have your hand up. So let me come to you. Did I get it right?
It's Marcus. Thanks. Appreciate
Marcus, I'm sorry, Marcus. How are you?
I'm good. How's everybody doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Welcome. Is this you've been here a couple of times, or is your first time?
The first time we did Nipsey, I missed the second one, but I was here. My first time.
Oh, okay.
Nipsey. So
that's what's up.
This book is I'm in about page 80. Started reading. Mm-hmm. I was reading them both. I'm reading them both simultaneously. I'm almost done the Nipsey book, and I'm reading. I'm like in between. I like how it's set up because you can read all the bold print. I got the hard copy. You can read all the bold print, and you can get the book if you just go through that. And then if you read the print after, which are the paragraphs, he gives more detail. And then there's like addendums at the end of each chapter where he goes in depth and details, and he has a website to where you can go and get more knowledge. So I like the way the book's set up. And like you said, so far what I've gotten out of it is that it's really prevalent to what's going on today in the market. And he started writing this book in 2019 before everything happened. And he had started studying the cycle of what was going on. I guess he could see that sooner or later there had to be a change in the tide. And so that perspective is great. And I've never read any of his work before. This is the first time that I've read anything that he's done. So I like the book so far. And like I said, I think like if you just skim through it, you'll get the gist of it just reading the bold print, at least in the copy that I have. And if you want more detail, you keep reading and then go to the website. Informative.
Yeah, no, you just articulated exactly where I'm at with this book as well, right? Like the bold print is also on the Kindle version as well, and it will point you to key principles in understanding what Ray Diallo is talking about, how he goes about seeing and projecting theories and principles that not only or impact the present, but also kind of prepare us for the future.